Hey guys, I am out in this beautiful forest. It's so gorgeous out here. I tell you, I'm here walking my pooch George. He's trying to dig out the snowballs in between his feet. It's the downside of being a shaggy dog because the snow, it sticks to him like Velcro. But I want to talk to you about this amazing friend I met. She called me up, didn't know who she was. Called me up, and she lives in the West Coast, and she said she's coming out to my area about 2 hours away from where I live, and she's doing a 14-day silent isolated meditation retreat. And I'm like, whoa, that is like serious hardcore stuff. Why would anybody want to do something like that? Well, I'm going to explain to you a little bit more about it. So she had a room that was about 8 by 10. All that was in the room was a mattress on the floor, a chair, a table, and a window. And the only time she left that room was go to the washroom or pick up her meals that were prepared for her 3 times a day by a monk. And she stayed there for 14 days. And the last 3 days were non-stop meditation for 72 hours without sleep. Yep, without sleep. Oh, snowmobiles. Anyway, so why would anybody do such a thing? Well, in Japanese, it's called Satori, otherwise known as breaking the ego. Because here's the thing, all our suffering in our life is caused basically by the ego. The ego is never, ever happy, never satisfied. Doesn't matter how many cars, boats, planes, women, men, whatever, desire or pleasure will never, ever be enough. You'll always want more. You'll never be satisfied. And it's this idea about clinging and aversion, where we want things or we don't want things. And we get very sticky about that stuff. And that brings our suffering. So our ego is most of the time running our life. It is dictating to us this endless stream of incessant thinking of not being enough, not having enough, and just bitching and complaining about just about everything. And that's what it does. That's what it's supposed to do, more or less, because it's got to also help us survive and navigate through life and keep us safe. Yet on the other hand, it's also our worst enemy. So when you go into these long bouts of Satori, you're locking yourself in a room with your ego. That's what it is. And you are going to duke it out with your ego for that, say, 14 days. And you got to come out a winner, because your ego is going to go, why are you doing this? Why don't you go home? You got to be tired. You got to be hungry. You're uncomfortable. Shitty place to sleep. Why are you away from home? What is this all about? This is stupid. This is ridiculous. You're never going to win. And it's going to do this to you non-stop. She said this was the hardest thing she's ever done in her life. And it was a fight. Every minute was a fight against her ego. Because her ego was telling her to go home and go home non-stop. And in the end, she did it. She broke free. Her ego peeled off, and she was set free. It's pretty freaking incredible. Imagine the bliss that I could see on her face, the happiness, the contentment, because you're no longer pulled around, pushed around by this chatter, this fearful chatter that you're not good enough, you're not enough. It's not enough. It's gone. It just doesn't talk anymore like that. You don't have this thing to fight anymore. And now you're in a whole different space where you're actually in the quantum field of energy, where now you are making things happen for yourself. You're not fighting with anything anymore. You're actually pulling things towards you, the things that you want in your life. And you're no longer hung up on status and money, trying to be somebody, trying to fit in. trying to be better than the Joneses. You let all that shit go because it's a trap. It is a trap. And we all been indoctrinated into this trap. Consumerism, what do you think that's all about? Buy this, if you buy that, you'll look cool, you'll fit in, you'll stand out. You know, it's like what's going on right now with all this idolatry about worshiping other people other than ourselves because we don't feel enough, because our egos are in control and our thinking is out of control. We can't stop thinking. We're not in charge of our mind because we haven't practiced the muscle of being in control. And when you're in control, you don't worry about all that shit because it means nothing. And just like my friend, she doesn't give a shit about all the stuff that's going on. It's beyond that. Talk about how free that is. Now that is real freedom. So anyway, just thought I would share that with you. Freaking brave, outstanding individual to do that. And I'm signing up. I have to go through 14 weeks of training just like she did though. And the training is the only thing that's going to get you through that 14 days of isolation. Because the training is building the muscle, building the muscle, building the muscle of being able to take on your ego, to be able to sit in long meditation pose, to stay awake, to stay diligent in it. And so I have to go through 14 weeks of training like she did before I actually lock myself in a room. So anyway, that's it. Thought I'd share that with you. Hey, listen, like, subscribe, share this with anybody that you think might benefit. I'm talking more and more about all this stuff all the time and going for my rants in the woods with my little buddy George over there. The best dog ever. So thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Peace out. Much love. Bye now.